Welcome back, guys. We are back down in the garage, playing around with the 180 again. And tonight I am working on the back of the car and I'm trying to figure out how I can make up some tail lights. So I just sat down for about 10 minutes or so and scribbled some ideas and some shapes and some kind of things that I want to add into the tails. I'm gonna make this out of cardboard before I go ahead and cut it out of the foam, just so I can see as well how it's going to look and whether it's the aesthetic that I'm going for and how it goes with the rest of the car. But check out some of these drawings and let me know what you think. I'm back stealing Ben's gasket for his MX-5. Thank you, MX-5. So my rear bar that I'm getting kind of looks something like this, but it's a lot lower. It goes down to probably about here. I've kind of squashed the car because I've overemphasized how wide it's going to be. And I screwed up, like I said, not to scale. So I was just sitting here looking at different shapes that I can use that can accentuate the original 180SX design. So you can see here I drew the original tail lights here in this oval, and then what I've done here is just play around with a couple of different ideas of how and what I can use on the inside of the tail lights. So what I'd like to do is make it recessed and make these out of clear acrylic. And then again, backlight LEDs from that. So then the red light shines all the way through these and lights up the edges. So at nighttime, they'll be nice and bright, and in daytime, you'll still be able to see off the corners because the tail light will be recessed on the inside of the panel. So I was thinking of these little hexagon style things and maybe even laser etch my crosses back into them. That would be pretty cool. Now I'm keeping it simple. I don't want to make over fancy tail lights that do 1,000 different patterns and RGB stuff. I want to create a bit more of a tame street car and focus on making the aftermarket kind of things not so basic as just tail lights and headlights and that kind of thing. So keep an eye. I do have a bunch of ideas for that, but I'm not going to reveal them yet because I'm still working on the designs as well. When you see Lamborghinis and Ferraris and a lot of supercars, they have recessed backs with like the mesh behind them, and then they have a bit of panel coming out. So something like that is kind of what I want to try and work with the car. So the rear bar that I'm going to put on this is one of my favorite old rear bars I used to have on this car a long time ago, but it got damaged and I could never find a replacement because you could only get them from Japan. Thankfully, 6 years later, I've found somebody over here that imports them and I've sourced one, which is great. So I am going to incorporate that back onto the car and have a lot of fun with that because I love that rear bar, and I'm excited to see how I can kind of get it to flow into the rest of this crazy idea of a 180 that's going on. But I also don't want it to look tame. I don't want it to be like, oh yeah, that's a 180 bar with some extra bits on it. I want it to be like, wow, that's different. What is that? Like that's the kind of reaction that I want to get with creating bits and pieces of this car. I love air chassis and I love 180s, as you can see. I've got my beautiful OEM style 180 in the background here. This is a full Spirit Ray Miyabi 180SX SR20 still. It's all got all the OEM genuine goodies. It's got genuine defies, 32 GDR seats, D-Max wings. Every part on this car has come from Japan. I've even got the Spirit Ray front lip up the top here that I haven't put on yet. So that is my beautiful OEM style. I say OEM, but it is quite modified. Sorry. This is my beautiful, you know, unmolested 180SX, and I intend on getting more. If I ever find more shells of 180s, I will 100% be buying every 180 I can ever get my hands on, because no matter how many 180s you have, every single one of them can be styled so differently, and you can do so many things with them that they're just a great base to play around with. So that is why I'm playing around with this one so heavily, because this one to me, when I first imported this car, it was an S15 front SIL 80, so it has never really been just a stock looking 180. It's always had a whole bunch of different things done to it, and it's aesthetically been a mix, or it's looked different. At one stage I did revert it back to a 180SX and I had fun with that, but I'm going to push the boundaries of this car and I'm going to enjoy this car and see what kind of potential and what kind of things I can make using a 180SX base and just a bit of imagination. Let's go see what Corey's doing. I spot in. Did you break it? What's up? What is up with it? Just starting it up?
Yeah, checking fuel brake. Fuel pressure, this one's dead. That was rating 4.5 bar. That now rating 3.5 bar.
Yeah, fuel pressure egg.
Right?
Turn your tails on. I like the tails. There's not much to see in the engine bay because it's painted all black and I don't have my light. Very lumpy. Alright, I'm going back to doing what I was doing. Now that the entire garage is shaking with the lumpy 1J, I'm going to cut out a template for these tail lights and see how the design is going to look and how it will work and if it will work. From there, what I'll need to do is then bog on a bit of a lip onto the back hatch that I'm going to kind of mold the back into, and then I can start building up all the little structural supports on the bottom here, and I'm going to build them off the rear Type X Garnish here. That way I can just use all the same angles and the same I can use all the same angles and all the same shaping and just kind of use that as a base to go off to get the correct dimensions and that kind of thing. That's probably going to take up most of my time tonight, to be honest. That's a pretty big job, and it's a big trial and error. Like, I've got to see how it goes and then see if I actually like it. Okay, let's see what we can come up with the tail lights, and I'll show you a bit of a cardboard template in a minute. I'm going to use these just to see what I'm working with. I just want to see the shape of the car. I shouldn't have picked green. I should have painted the foam some other color or picked a different color foam. It's so hard to see green on white. It's looking good. I'm liking where this can go. Cool, the louvers don't stick out too much, which is great, and they actually flow quite well with what I want to do. Thank you.
Oh, all good.
I'm just looking. So I'm still considering how I want to mold this in, whether I want to cut it down and make it flat, whether I want to make it big and boxy, or whether I want to do like maybe like a hump. But a hump, I don't really want curves. I want to keep it quite angular. Ah, that's my wang. See, I'm just playing around the shapes here of how I can sit this. Something like that would be a stock 180, but you can see how that looks kind of like a Dodge as well. So I could do something like this, where it's on a bit more of an angle, or I could do it so it's very, very thin at the top there, and then comes out like that. I'm thinking that looks pretty cool. The only problem with doing it like that is if I do it wider at the outside, even though I do like that, it is the opposite of what I've actually designed on here, where I've got it wide on the inside and then narrow on the outside. So I have to decide if I want to do it like this, or if I want to do it the opposite way around and have the bigger ones on the outside and then go to small on the inside. So I'm going to play around with that for a minute. I'm going to decide, and then I'll show you what the outcome will be. So these are going to be clear acrylic lenses, but I'm just trying to figure out the shape pattern because I need to take into account how the light is going to diffuse coming off the back of these. So if I angled it in and down, you'd be able to see it fairly well from the back, but it wouldn't light up the recess of the housing. So I added this one here so you can see it from the back, and I've added this one here so it lights it down and lights up the housing as well. That's such a pretty cool shape. Here is my template. So what I'm going to do now is just grab some cellophane, sticky tape. I'm going to paint these black just so it hides all the cardboard look to them. So I'll go out and quickly spray paint these and I'll be right back. Here is what we have as a basic shape for the tail lights. So I was playing around with all those ideas that I showed you guys earlier. So I'm just tripping over my stuff. But in the long run, I've pretty much settled with this. Yeah, so instead of having the S14 or the 180SX style where it curves down and around here, I might curve it slightly at the top there and have a nice angular part down here. That way when these diffuse the light, like this, it will bounce off the housing quite well as well. I don't know if this is going to stand up or if I'm going to ruin it. Whoop. Stand. Okay, yeah, so something like that. Benjamin just brought me a gift. I've been waiting on these now for like 2 months. So these are plates probably for the S14. Can you guess the combo? What do you reckon, Corey?
Yeah, I was gonna say, it says it on the box, so... no, wrong way! Where your left hand is.
Woo!
I already know what they are, I see them at the shop.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
And they've been there all day and you didn't tell me they rocked up?
How are you gonna get them?
Yeah, what were you gonna do?
I would have had happy, warm feelings inside all day.
Hopefully you had them anyway.
No. So, these are
Non-drill perspex.
That's gonna suck. Double-sided tape?
I'm so excited, I've got to go to the bathroom.
I'm so excited. Yeah, this can happen. So these actually oh no, I got paint on my finger. I ordered these 2 months ago, but I've had the combination on lay-by. I've had the combination on lay-by now for probably about 3-4 months.
Crap.
We get carbon fiber versions as well. Oh, they got the rounded edges as well.
Jay-Z. RB. Jay-Z. Jay-Z. Many more.
These ones. But it turns out that I'm an idiot and they've been rounded all along. These are the plates for this 180. Well, I don't like putting things on paint. So yeah, I got this from Japan, from Up Garage. It is called a skeleton dash. I have no idea what color it's going to light up when I do light it up, but it's pretty cool. It has some Moon Eye stickers, some the Lightning Gods, Storm Gods, Fujin, Raijin, and a Cowboy sticker. So I can be fully hot boy. What do you call that? Sad boy, hot boy? I don't know, that weird car slang stuff that's going around these days. But yes. I don't know if I'll use it yet.
Just do it.
Ah, ah. Hey.
No.
Ew. I've just been hacking up ideas and cardboard and coming up with little bits and pieces and creations to how I can do this and how it's going to look good and effective. So when I was doing this one, I've gone off, this is the original 180SX Garnish. So that is, the original tail light is quite big. Like, I've cut it in half. So I've essentially used the brake area of a stock looking tail. I have done this once before and ran it in the past, and I've just had like a nice red strip along here. That was before I'd done my XXX tails. So now I've got this design, and I wanted to still incorporate a bit of the X's in the car, so I will probably make an X design of this. This thing here, you're probably wondering what it is. I'm not going to reveal that one yet. You're going to have to wait out to see what that is actually going to be. It will be pretty interesting, and it does keep with the theme of being a bit of a cyberpunky, retro, old school. So wait out. As for the red parts here, I spray painted these red so I could see what they would look like, but they will be just clear acrylic. They probably won't have the black trimmings, and they'll be probably quite thick, like about, my hands are covered, sorry, about as thick as my thumb. So I'll do them quite thick, have one on the inside, two on the outside. One will run, I don't know if it'll be that one or that one. I'll probably make it this one. This will be the indicator, so those two will be the tail light, and then this one will probably be a brake light. This one will be a surprise, and that'll probably be an indicator. I'll run an orange LED through the inside so it lights up orange. Keeping in mind, sorry, I have to carve this off still, but the tail light itself is a rather nice shape to what I could potentially do with it. I'm still working out the lengths and the shapes that I want for this. Originally, I showed you guys I had the three like this. So I had the three of them like this, all pointing out. That was really cool, and I may still be able to play with some form of design like that, but I can't have them as angled as I wanted them. I'd probably need to run them fairly flat. But it adds a bit of a 3D effect to a tail light, and if I do the housing correctly, it will look really cool, because it will just look like a, I don't know, like a crystal acrylic 3D thing that's absolutely nothing like a tail light, but will function as a tail light. For legality reasons, I'll probably have to dump a reflector somewhere in there, but I'm liking the look of it so far. And then I've got the two little shelves here that we were just drawing a minute ago and figuring out if I needed that ducktail on the top here. You can see I've just gone big wang, but it's not a wang, it's just sitting there. It'll probably come out to about here if I do decide to put the lip on it, but it'll be kind of like a nice little lip, and then it will also go fairly well with these two here. So I've mentioned in earlier videos that I wanted to do a Lamborghini style rear vented hatch on here. Whether I make it out of full fiberglass or whether I pull out the glass and I use the original metal hatch, I haven't decided yet. But it's getting there, and it should shape up fairly well. I'm looking forward to getting it out in the sun tomorrow so I can carve it up properly. But I am liking where the design is going. I just have to decide now if I want to do like an A90 Supra style kind of rounded boot and then flare it out with bubble flares, or if I just go full F40 flat, square, boxy, kind of something boxy with a lot of vents, most likely. Alright guys, well, I'm gonna wrap it up for the night, go have some food and some coffee. It's probably like 2 in the morning. I haven't checked. I'm a bit scared to check actually, so being down here, time keeps running away on me, so it's a bit scary to even look at my phone. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying the build so far and you're having just as much fun as I am. And if you enjoy the vlogs and if you enjoy the channel, please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time.